Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in session for the Board of License Commissioners of Carroll County. Mr. Dixon, would you call case 6505, please?
All right, case 6505, a violation for a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license issued to Jason Cake for the use of Cakes Liquors LLC, trading as Crossroad Liquors, 625 Baltimore Boulevard, Suite E, Westminster, Maryland, 21157, in Election District 7. Violation, failure to have an alcohol awareness trained and certified person for the establishment. In the file of this matter, we have the following documents. A notice of the violation. It was hand-delivered April 29th, 2024. A notice of intention to defend with the box checked, I do not intend to contest the alleged violation. Signed on April 29th, 2024. There's an April 29th, 2024 letter from Joe Vance to Jason Cake. And then there's a inspection report for licensee and Board of License Commissioners, violation alcohol awareness program, a holder of any retail alcoholic beverage license or an employee designated by the holder shall complete training in an approved alcohol awareness program. Rule 68, alcohol awareness training. I would ask that the file be entered into evidence.
We'll accept that into evidence. At this time, I would ask all those who intend to testify in the case, please stand, raise your right hand, and be sworn in by Ms. Vance.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you. You may be seated. Inspector Benfer, are you going to present the case?
Yes, I am. Inspector Keith Benfer, Board of License Commissioners. On April 26th, from 9:30 to 12:30 p.m., I taught an alcohol awareness class, expiration comments. Jason Cake, sitting to my right, was scheduled to attend the class. About a week prior, Jason Cake told me he was unable to attend the class because he could not get coverage for him to attend. Only 2 people work at Crossroads Liquors. He did not tell me that he was expired. On April 26, 2024, in the afternoon, I spoke with Jason Cake again. He stated he has had the training, but it's been several years. I checked our records for Crossroad Liquors and was able to locate a TAM training certificate which expired on March 8th, 2021. Jason turned in a renewal packet with the alcohol awareness paper stating that he was scheduled to attend the training on April 26, 2024. Crossroad Liquors is located at 625 Baltimore Boulevard, Suite E, Westminster, Maryland, 21157. They're a Class A licensed beer, wine, and liquor, and I charged them with 2 violations, state violation 4-505 and local rule 68. I do make a motion to enter 2 pieces of evidence into the record, the TAM certificate and the alcohol awareness program certificate. I did show them to Jason.
We'll accept them.
The certificate you're entering is the expired one?
Yes. That's the last one we had on record. Hang on, hold it.
Inspector, do you have anything else to present?
That's all. And then throughout this incident, Jason's been polite and cooperative throughout this ordeal.
Any questions, Inspector Benford, at this time? Not? Mr. Cake, do you want to tell us what happened, what your position is?
Yes, sir. There was a big miscommunication between the 2 of us. It was all my fault. I wasn't aware that I was expired. I've taken the class 6 times. I think I've taken it 6 times now. Wasn't sure that it was expired, so we set up a date to go to the alcohol training class on the 26th. And like the inspector said, I wasn't able to attend that, so we set up one in May. And I was under the impression, as long as I was signed up for it, and I take the class, because we talked prior to me turning in the application, that would be all right. So what we did do, he informed me that I was expired and that it was a violation. So I've been in this industry for 28 years, and I've never had a violation. So I asked him if there's any way we could fix this, and he said, no, you're in violation, you'll have to go to court, but let's schedule you to get your training done for your class. So we scheduled a training class for May 18th, Saturday, 9 to 12, at Bistro 91 in Finksburg. So I will be attending that.
Say it one more time.
Mr. Cake, how many employees do you have?
I just have one part-time employee.
How many hours are you open a
Uh,
week?
Roughly 70, 75, well, 75. I have shorter hours than those people.
What are those hours?
So I do Monday through Saturday, 10 to 8, Sunday, 10 to 5. So I put in a lot of hours.
And you've been in this location for 28 years?
No, sir. I was a manager right out of college at Finksburg Liquors, and then I opened up Crossroad Liquors in '07.
So you've been on your own since '07?
Correct.
And during the those 17 years or whatever it amounts to, have you had any other violations?
No, sir.
Your other employees, are they trained?
They are not.
So for the past 3 years, nobody has been trained for alcohol?
That
or-
was what was brought to my attention. Didn't know it expired.
And when you renewed your license application this year, you still were not aware of it?
No. I was when I turned in the application right before.
Hey, Tina.
That I was expired, so that's why we scheduled a class for the 26th,
Thank you.
but I couldn't attend it.
Does the application, does now state that you have to turn in your certificate with the application, correct?
Correct. That's part of packwork, in the renewal packet, yes, that's part of
So
packwork.
the renewal packet was turned in without the without the certificate, is that how we noticed it, or?
I
Okay.
got the blue form,
Okay,
but he didn't have the training certificate.
Mr. Dixon, we don't have a copy of the statute here, do we?
No, I don't, if it's not in what he provided, I don't have the book.
Hey, Keith, can I show you this?
It's 4-505E.
Yeah, I think that's what it used to be.
it is now 3-504.
Right.
It does, the force,
You want to look at it? Tell me if this is the same one that you're referring to?
Is that what you have?
I have 3-504. But our rule book references 4-505.
I think there's four, one, the three's for state, the fours are for counties.
4-505?
Yeah, if you look at 4-505, should be,
This is for
right,
counties?
because this, I don't know the exact definition, but when we charge through a state, it's the section 4 of the state code that we use. But I think the section 3 is for the state version. Pretty much 3 and 4 are very similar,
4-505.
because it should be, I think section 4 says local laws.
Okay.
Gina upstairs?
Here is Justia. Do you trust them?
No.
Okay.
Jerry.
That's all right. So you're charging two separate violations.
The state violation and our local rule. I wasn't sure what's more appropriate, so I charged both of them.
Yeah. So it seems to me that our local rule is just a restatement of the state law.
Correct.
So I don't think that we can find you culpable of two laws that are really the same. That's just my opinion on that.
My understanding that the state law requires a $100 fine for the first offense.
Right.
That's correct. That's defined in the state code.
And has that happened?
What?
Did he get a fine? Is that what,
No, that's what
You're
you're,
going to find
that's
it.
what we're supposed to do?
Right.
They say what we should do, okay.
it's preset. But you can also suspend the fine.
He's scheduled to take the, I'm sorry, I should be talking to you, Mr. Cake, not referring to you as he. I'm sorry, you're going to take it,
Yeah, I'm scheduled for May 18th.
okay. And you've been reissued your renewal based on the affirmation that we have that you're doing that you're
Correct.
going to do it, okay. And your other, you have one other employee. How long have they been with you?
For a while now, 15 years.
You think it'd be a good idea to have them also take it?
Yeah, I think I should.
Well, in fact, the law requires it, because when the place is open, somebody has to be there.
Class A's
Maryland General Assembly text of that law. Do you
or
want to see it?
Class A's.
Class A's are excluded from the new law.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
But the board recommends someone trained at all times.
But the law does require that somebody
Yes,
be alcohol trained, period.
correct.
Right.
Were you,
I
Tina?
think it mirrors it, George. I really do. What's
There
that?
it is.
I pulled up the Maryland General Assembly website, and it has the statute listed.
What seems to be the problem, whether it's state law or our regulations, would appear to me that it's the same violation.
I think they're one and the same, actually.
Yeah, I'm making sure that,
Yeah.
that what I said is true, that this is just the same violation as that.
All right, section 4 of the state law is for local licensing. Section 3 is for state licensing. So I charge the correct section 4, 505.
Okay, but you also charge under local rule. So 505 is local law, and 68 is local rule.
Correct.
So that's a
I
redundancy.
covered my bases.
Okay, all right, good.
And I agree with you, one gets thrown out and one goes forward.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions?
I have no other questions. It sounds like you're going to get in compliance
Yes, sir.
soon. You've had no violations over a long period of time, which is something that I take note of. So I think that you care about this stuff. And your establishment has been checked. Mr. Benford, how many times with your latest wave chart?
I got a stack of papers
what?
that I brought with me, so it's It's a bunch of times.
Yeah, yeah,
At least 7, and I would probably double that to 14.
yeah, that's a pretty good record.
Thank you.
There are no other questions?
Could this have jeopardized the renewal of the license, since it was, I mean, if we hadn't gotten it scheduled, or you
If we-
hadn't reached out, and so it could have jeopardized the license by not having it when it was supposed to exist?
It was the understanding that the license, because it wasn't May 1st, if you were attended the April 26th,
26.
yeah, his
And we
license,
wouldn't be here right now.
right, because the license starts May 1st.
Okay,
So he would have had a valid, okay, since he did not attend, speaking with the chairman, it was to have this hearing and issue the license, have this hearing, and do what you guys need to do at the hearing.
so I do-
Does anybody have any thoughts on Keith's suggestion?
Before we decide the merits of the case, I think we would close any testimony or evidence that's been presented. Do you have any other comments to make, Mr. Case?
Yeah, the only other thing I would like to say is I do take this to heart, that I had a violation and I haven't had one in so many years. And there was something where it was just a misunderstanding, and I want to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Inspector Benfer, any closing comments?
And I do believe what Jason says, I do believe he really takes it seriously. And every time I've dealt with him, he's been always straight up, honest.
Okay, with that testimony evidence is both closed, now we will discuss the merits of the violation.
Does anybody have any comments from the board as to Keith's suggestion about how we dispose of this case?
My comments would simply be that, shown over a period of years, but 3 years ago, the certificate expired. I would think that this type of thing should not be overlooked, as it affects the livelihood of Mr. Cake. But I think it was a total, for want of a better word, not concern. I'm sure he was concerned about it, just something that kind of slipped by, and based upon his 17 years or 28 years of experience in here with any type of violation, while you all know my thoughts on so-called continuing education, if you want to call it that, because it has to be renewed every 4 years, I think it's just a simple mistake.
And are you referring, George, to the double charge to drop?
No.
Okay.
Well, so I think we all agree that being charged twice for the same thing.
Right.
I was referring to Keith's suggestion that because of the circumstances that the chairman just outlined, and because of this exemplary record, that suspension would be something to be considered.
My only thought is, but for the fact that we had not required certificates to be attached in the past,
No.
No,
but
this
for
is-
the fact that we required a certificate, it would continue to happen. So it's been 3 years that he didn't have to put a certificate on. So for 3 years, it was expired. Now that we requested the certificate, that's when it was noticed that it's expired. So had we not requested the certificate, it would still be expired. And would it have been on the radar? Would it have been 7 years later and then realized that, oh, I'm not certified anymore? That's my only thought process.
Well, when Keith contacted me about it, we discussed the case, and since he was scheduled to take it, and this is another one of the fallacies about what we've discussed about various regulations and rules in the past, and certain people decided that maybe it wasn't in the best interest of certain classes of licenses, and this is a perfect example of my previous concern and still concern. But it's my belief that it was an honest mistake, and I suggested to Keith before he did the charge that we would need to discuss it as a commission. And my original thought was if the fine is stipulated, the violation of $100 for the first offense, and that perhaps we could have this completed within 30 days to give Mr. Cake the opportunity to take the course, which he had previously scheduled, and I had no idea whether the commission would issue a fine or suspend a fine or what. So with that,
So he scheduled the first one after you informed him that it was expired, or, I'm trying to get
Yeah,
the sequence of events.
After we realized he expired and he doesn't have anybody trained, there was 2 dates in May that he could attend the training. May 18th worked out the better day for him.
No, I mean the April 26th date.
That was when he knew he had nothing, he expired, and we had that date set to him to
Okay.
attend it. But then.
And again, like I say, if that date would have happened, then we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah,
But we
you-
gave him that concession of saying, hey, we're gonna give you this, essentially this pass to schedule now and attend.
Well, no, it wouldn't, because it's not passed. He had to be trained before May 1st.
Right,
Get the new
right,
license.
right.
So if you were attending that training and he would issue the license,
Then,
we've never been here. He did not attend the training, he had some problems with work, and then I was issued a violation with, and then also got him scheduled for the May 18th date to attend the training, as the chairman said, within 30 days. If he doesn't attend that, then I'll be there.
I'm prepared to make a motion unless there's further discussion.
please make the motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move in case 6505, two things, that the licensee be found culpable of violation of 4-505 of the Alcoholic Beverages Article of the Maryland Code, and that a charge for violation of local rule be dismissed as duplicative. Additionally, in my motion, I am moving that the fine of $100, which is statutory, be imposed but suspended if the licensee gets the required alcohol awareness training by the end of this month. And I would mention that if there is a subsequent violation, that the suspended fine would be added to the statutory fine of $500.
I second that
There a
motion.
second?
I second that motion.
Motion's been properly made and seconded that we find Mr. Cake culpable and that a fine of $100 according to statutory limits be assessed, and that fine suspended if the licensee completes a alcohol awareness training class within the month of May. If a subsequent violation occurs, that the $100 suspended fine be added to any subsequent fine. Any further discussion on the motion?
No.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. So ordered. Mr. Cake, we find you culpable of the violation and issue a $100 fine, which will be suspended if you complete a alcohol training awareness class before the end of this month of May, and that if a subsequent violation occurs, the suspended fine be added to any subsequent fine. With that, unless you have any questions,
No, I don't.
sorry for the inconvenience, and we wish you good luck. And just one comment, perhaps maybe in addition to you attending the class, maybe your other employees, since he is there quite often, may like to attend also. You have any questions for us?
No, I don't.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for your time. So, yeah, 7/13 or the 18th. I got it right.
Okay, well, we got about another 5 minutes, I guess, before the next case.
You might want to go upstairs and help him find his way.
Chairman, can I be excused and go upstairs and try to find the next person?
Are you talking to me?
I think it was.
I think he's going to go find the
Might be a good
person.
idea.
Tim was not sure where the,
They usually tell you if you ask at the front desk.
they did, and Chick actually said she'd walk him down if she had to.
Okay.
So this wave chart goes back to 2016.
I probably got one in there, but I don't know how far back. it
Yeah.
goes. How about this outfit? They got any violations?
I don't know. Who are they?
Two,
Tim Tai Classic.
2020, 2019.
Tim Tai Classic. Here it is.
December 2020, September 2019. And this one looks like it was the recheck. No, this, and then they rechecked and he passed.
Joe, so, until we changed the application and so on and so forth, renewal, was it practiced previously
To get a,
to check to see if somebody was certified?
no,
And Keith's not here, and I don't know, but on the routine checks that he does, is that part of it?
I don't think so. I think that's why Keith was so in favor of adding that to
For the renewal?
the new law and the renewal.
I
The
think,
new law would require them to have
Right.
posted.
yeah, because I think we had asked in the
In session. Our case 6506 is AOL. At this time, as you may be aware, we can postpone the case, we can table it, we can discuss it, come to a conclusion,
Well, have evidence presented.
or have evidence presented, right, and take it from there. So, Inspector Benfer,
You may testify, where are we doing it?
I guess if we need to testify, does he have to be sworn in again? I guess so.
Yes.
So we're not, so the record's clear, we're not postponing the case, we're going to go forward with the case. Is that, yes?
They're looking at you.
That
No,
looks
it's-
like what you're
it's a
doing.
chair-
You- if
That's
he's
what we're
gonna
gonna do.
testify
That's
for
what I
that
thought
evidence, that's
when
what
I
you're
asked
doing.
him, that's why I said that.
Okay,
He said we could do either.
Or
Postpone.
postpone. Go ahead.
we're going forward.
Okay.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may be seated. Inspector Benford, would you like to present the case, please?
Yes. Inspector Keith Benfer, Board of License Commissioners.
Wait a minute, I didn't read this
Oh,
paragraph.
we
and
didn't
say
take
what
case
was
in
in
the
the
file
file
yet.
first.
Oh, that's right.
A little out of order.
Sorry.
All right,
My
case
fault.
6506, a violation for a Class B beer and wine 6-day license issued to Tim Thai for the use of Tim Thai Classic LLC, trading as Tim Thai Classic, 17 East Main Street, Westminster, Maryland, 21157, in Election District 7. Violation, failure to have an alcohol awareness trained and certified person for the establishment. In the file of this matter, we have the following documents. A acknowledgement of receipt of the case, April 29, 2024, delivered by hand on April 29, 2024, received by Tim.
Help me with
And
that,
then, and then there's a notice of intent to defend with the box checked. I do not intend to contest the alleged violation, signed by the same Tim on 4/29/2024. There's April 29th, 2024 letter from Joe Vance to Tim Thai. Then there is a inspector's report for licensee and Board of License Commissioners. Violation alcohol awareness program, a holder of any retail alcoholic beverage license or an employee designated to be the holder shall complete training in an approved alcohol awareness program. Rule 68 of the board's rules. And 4505 alcohol awareness program in the state law. I would ask that the file be entered into evidence.
We'll accept that into evidence. Now, Inspector Benford, would you like to present the case, please?
Inspector Keith Benford, Board of License Commissioners. On April 26, from 9:30 to 12:30 in the morning, I taught an alcohol awareness class at the Exploration Commons. Tim Tamavangsa was scheduled to attend the class. He did not attend the class. Later, I spoke to Tim. He stated he forgot that he was scheduled for the class. I checked our records for Tim Thai Classic Restaurant and was unable to locate any records of any alcohol awareness training certificates. Tim turned in the renewal packet with the alcohol awareness paperwork stating that he had training, but it expired on March 31st, 2024. We were scheduled to attend the training on April 26, 2024. Tim Thai Classic Restaurant is located at 17 East Main Street, Westminster, Maryland. Class B license, BW. I do make a motion to put one piece of paper, the alcohol awareness program, in as evidence.
We'll accept that into evidence.
Mr. Benford, you testified that in his renewal packet, he said he was?
He put in the expiration of 3/21/24. I did cross it out, and put down 4/26 after finding out that he was not, that he has expired. But I could not find anything, he was not, could not show me anything saying that date he put down was a right date.
Okay, so you're saying it was expired, so if he never had the training, there's no expiration, right? He's just,
I can't find anything that says he had training, he
At all?
only, at all.
Okay.
The only thing, he put down a date, he did have training, but it expired in March 24th.
gotcha, okay, thanks.
When I did talk to him that afternoon, he was totally surprised, he completely forgot. He was honest, the look on his face told me he completely forgot about it.
But he hasn't rescheduled yet.
He is rescheduled for the May 18th class.
Have you checked your phone to see if he's tried to call you today?
I don't have any voicemail messages, I don't have his personal phone. Did your voicemail go to your cell phone? Okay.
So it's possible there's a message up there,
But you spoke to him today, you said.
but I spoke to him this morning before we started. You want me to go up and check?
Do we want her to go check or just move on without it?
I lean toward checking, but on the other hand, it's already a half hour. It's up, yeah, I will agree to whatever the chairman
I don't
says.
think, he's not here.
How long has he been a licensee?
Since
07, you said? Or 17? 17. So 7 years?
So I guess if you do the math, if he got certified in 17, it also would have expired in 21. He probably wouldn't taken it again, so that wouldn't have expired till 25. You know, see what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
Because he could not produce a certificate.
Right, I mean, all I can go by is on that alcohol awareness form, he put the date on March 2024.
And we issued his renewal.
Yes. Because he was scheduled to take the class in April 26th of this past month. So he would have had the class, he would have been certified before the renewal, May 1st.
Okay. So, when does he become in violation of our requirement that you have the course and that precludes you from a renewal? Is it, he has to take the course the day that it's submitted, or the last day you're allowed to submit your renewal packet?
We've, in the past, have given people grace period up to May 1st to get paperwork into us, get stuff into us,
Okay.
taxes, all that stuff. So we need everything turned in to us April 30th to issue a May 1st new license, because the license is still valid through April 30th.
But this being the first year that we've asked for these certificates, we didn't.
Think of what the repercussions should be.
We didn't think of, what's the word I want? Not the repercussions, but,
Consequences.
yeah, the consequences of someone not having
Right.
a certificate.
So if you get the renewal packet back without the certificate, you don't issue? Right?
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
And then, you say May 1st is the drop dead date for submitting a renewal packet?
No,
30th, really.
April 30th.
But you always.
Well, April 1st is to submit the renewal packet. April 1st is the drop
April
date.
1st,
Okay.
okay.
But a lot of times we get them submitted without everything attached or notarized or signed or leased, or there's always
Or taxes owed.
taxes are owed. We give them to April 20th to get the taxes paid in
Before they start being.
before they get fined. Okay, and then back up April 1st, if you haven't had your packet in, you have 10-day grace period to turn your packet in, which time, each day is $50 fine,
Thereafter, after April 10.
April 1st.
April 1st.
After April 1st, you have a 10-day grace period, and you pay every day you're between April 1 and
April 10.
April 10.
And then
Correct.
April 10, if you haven't turned it in, our paperwork says you won't get a new license.
Okay, that was my question. So it's April 10 is the drop dead date for satisfying this office, your office?
For getting the renewal packet in.
Yeah, yes, so, and you contacted him when, again?
I talked to him on April 26th. I talked to him on April 29th.
Was his April 26th scheduled because you told him he didn't have a valid?
April 26th, the initial class was scheduled for him to attend.
Right, but-
Because he was expired
Right,
on
so
March.
you contacted him after you got his renewal packet to let him know that he was not in compliance, see?
Right, he was expired,
Right.
and there's no class he could attend, so we had this class.
So I guess technically after each of these no-show at the 26th, they really didn't deserve to have their license renewed on May 1st.
Right, he no-showed on April 26th, just like
Right.
previous, with the understanding that he's going to show up for the hearing and also show up for the training on May 18th.
What is the period of time that the daily fine begins and ends? April 1?
April 1st to April 10th,
Okay, was he fined anything for that?
no, because he had packet turned in. He didn't have everything done on the packet, but if they turn a packet in, and that's something we need to talk about another time,
Yeah.
you have till May 1st to turn everything in.
Right,
April
so-
20th, we start finding you if you don't have your taxes paid.
Okay, yeah, well, let's forget the taxes for a minute, because that always confuses me. So, he turned the packet in, but it was incomplete or
Correct.
an error, one or the other.
It was incomplete because, and I believe everything, and this, a Joe question, everything else was turned in correctly, right? It was incomplete because he was expired.
Okay, but he turned in something saying it existed, so he turned in something that was wrong, not incomplete. It was just not correct.
I don't know if it was wrong or right. It might have been correct. I don't have any record of it.
Oh, but you talked to him.
And he couldn't provide you with a record.
Yeah,
There are
provide-
a few trainers out there who don't send me
Yeah.
the certification. Very few, but there are a few that
And-
certify people but don't send us notification.
When you met with him on April 29th, did you tell him what you discovered about, one, the wrong date on his renewal?
Correct. Yep.
And did he say that that
His-
was an error?
His English he is hard, not, difficult to understand. So I don't know exactly what he said, if he was trained and expired, or I don't,
Okay. So it's possible that because of it being his second language, that he may not have understood everything as told to him and vice versa.
correct. But he understood that he needed to be here today, and he understands he needs to
Right.
be at, as broad as I can tell it, and with him calling, because I actually was going to stop by this afternoon before, but him calling this morning, saying, talking to Joe, I don't know what to, I don't know what to say.
So I guess, like you said, that is an issue that'll have to be discussed at a different time, like, what are the repercussions? Like, if they didn't show up on the 26th, then May 1st, there's no renewal. But then you give them another grace period, then they don't show up on the 18th, then we're back here again, but the whole time they're allowed to sell alcohol. And they violate it, and then they violate it, and they violate it.
My question to the board is, if, even though he's not having alcohol awareness training, can you revoke his license? Or can
Revoke
you,
or suspend?
I don't, revoke, suspend, can we take his license because he doesn't have alcohol awareness training?
I guess that question starts with our attorney, and then you can go down the board.
I mean, that's the question, right? I mean, what you're asking, Tina,
Yeah,
right?
the state statute says that the second violation of not having this certificate could be 500 and/or suspension,
So,
Or revocation.
or revocation,
So,
exactly.
in theory, first violation is the April 26th date. For not showing
First
for the.
violation's for not having it for who knows how long.
Right, and not showing for the training on the 26th. The second violation, and if I'm wrong, Tim, say something, if he doesn't show for the May 18th, is that a second violation?
Is this a violation for not showing up today?
But that's a whole, that's a different charge.
True.
I'm looking at the section 405, or
504.
yeah, 4-505. Is that a second violation for not having the training?
If he doesn't show up on the 18th.
I think you could consider it that, yeah.
How big is this place? Does it do, busy,
No,
is it
it-
busy?
it-
Is it-
I don't know what his alcohol sales, do we have his alcohol, percentage should be enough, it should be enough older. I'm gonna say less than 8%, 5%.
Yeah.
I mean, we can take his license and not shut him down.
He has 1%. I'm not sure he did his math right.
I wouldn't take his license now because when he got notice of this, there's nothing to indicate we could revoke. Now,
Right.
if
No,
he
I-
comes next month, not even next month, but,
It has to be a
Because-
June hearing.
yeah, the June hearing, then you could take his license, but you
Right.
need to send him another violation
Correct.
based on him missing that other meeting in May.
Right, so I can, if he misses, okay. If he misses next May's meeting, May's training, I violate him for missing the training, for not having alcohol awareness, and also violate him from not coming here.
No, he doesn't get it. We went forward. with
Okay,
the
I didn't know,
hearing, so
I
you
didn't know.
don't violate him for,
I missed it?
no, don't violate him for that, no.
Okay,
So if his numbers are correct, he has 0.02% alcohol sales.
Is that mostly a carryout place?
It's got quite
half
a
and
few
half.
seats, yeah.
I mean, you remember, Tina, what deli used to be?
Wasn't it Rick's Deli or?
Something,
No,
it was-
something deli.
It's just a small,
Yeah.
one storefront.
Kind of got a little cutout for the kitchen
Yeah.
area, kind of.
You walk in, you see the kitchen,
Yeah.
it's just a small little,
So the only repercussion to violating Rule 4 is that we can go forward without him here.
Right,
But he wasn't going to contest it anyway.
yeah, that's right. So you can do whatever you want to do, but revoke. And if you're gonna rely on the state law, it's only $100 fine.
Or, now, not revoke, what about suspend?
I would suspend, I would
You're
fine.
not gonna,
Because,
We don't
I
revoke
mean,
anybody.
I'm just
it's,
checking.
it's just based on the violation, the state law is $100 fine. I wouldn't think we would suspend for what the state said is $100 fine. It doesn't seem reasonable to me, but you could, but I don't think you should suspend or revoke for something that the state law says first offense, $100 fine. That seems to me to be challengeable.
my thought would simply be this. Fine him $100 according to the state statute. And if the training's not satisfied by the May 18th training session, then go back and charge him.
Okay.
That's my,
Well, that makes sense. The second offense is 500 under state law. But if we, for some reason, find that there are more factors that make this even more egregious, we can always just go under local law, local rule. But if he has an explanation for a number of things, then then just, do what the chairman says.
Can you put stipulations on that second show up to the effect, like, find a certain amount of money, but then if he doesn't show up for the May 18th,
Well, if he doesn't show up for the May 18th, you could say, all right,
That's the second-
we addressed this on whatever today is, and then this is the second violation, so we're dealing with the second violation. And show what, what the
Yeah, when we-
consequences are in state law, and the board rules don't say anything about the consequences, but you could say the board could consider suspension or revocation as well as a fine in that second letter.
so that was my point, he has to actually violate the second time before something can
Oh, yeah,
be said about it,
right.
not hold that May 18th as a stipulation. If you don't show up that day, then you're automatically suspended.
No, no. We would have to have another violation hearing for the charge.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. If that's okay with you. I move in case number 6506, a violation for a Class A beer wine 6-day to Tim Damavanganza for the use of Tim Thai Classic, to dismiss the state statute 4-505, but then find him culpable of our local rule 68 and fine him $100 for that violation as dictated by the state law.
That's not exactly what I had in mind. You got them crisscross. Just forget our rules and regulations according
So
to
the
state law.
So according to the state law, excuse me, let me readdress. State law 4-505, and dismiss local rule 68 because it's duplicate. So in state statute 4-505, I find him culpable and assess a fine of $100 as allowed by the state law. Is that right?
With the stipulation,
Oh, yes, with the stipulation that he shows up to the to the training on May 18th, and if that hearing is not, if that meeting is not attended, then he will be in a second violation of that statute.
no,
What am I,
I don't think you have to put it, if he doesn't show up, that's going to be automatic.
Okay.
The motion for $100, and he attends,
and he attends the May 18th training session,
period.
period.
I will second that motion that licensee is found culpable in violation of the state law that is cited, and is further ordered by this board that he attend, or that he mitigate his violation of state law by attending alcohol awareness training by May 18th, 2024. Is that right?
Motion's been properly made and seconded. Joe, would you like to read the motion, what you have?
Okay, it's a little convoluted. A motion to find him culpable according to state statute 4-505 and dismiss local rule 68 and assess a fine of $100, and he must attend the May 18th training to mitigate this violation.
I think that's it.
All heard the reading of the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. So ordered. You got that, right?
I got that. Do we want to discuss turning renewal packets in now, or do you want to do that down the road?
Tina, I think's got another appointment. But I don't care.
don't.
You don't? What do you want to discuss?
We get renewal packets turned in, missing by April 1st, they're supposed to be turned in, and they're missing notary, renewal, they're missing different items. We give them time to get that in without having anything, any fine or anything to hold them accountable. Do we want to start accepting them, accept them, and then start charging them $50 because it's not complete, or just not accept them? Go ahead, I mean, yeah.
There is a form that I've never used that says this renewal packet is missing, and then it's a list of items, it's a checklist. And I had suggested to Keith that if a packet comes in missing anything, we've always been lenient. We've always tried to work with them. But if it comes in missing anything, I'm gonna start using that form, and they get the packet back, and it's not considered to have been turned in. And Keith says he's gonna give me a little time at the seminar to state some things like, we will no longer accept unnotarized renewal packets. They have to come to me totally filled out, totally notarized, and that we will not accept partial packages that don't have all the forms needed.
When you say don't accept, you're talking about physically returning?
Yep.
Okay. And, I mean, so that creates work for you, but if that's the way that you think it should best be handled,
Well, it creates work for me either way. The other thing is me trying to track them down,
Chasing them, yeah.
chasing them for the
But-
documents.
Because they're circumventing the $50 a day fine by getting it to you April 1st, even though it's not complete. So essentially, it really isn't to you. So your point being that just give it back, and then now you've got $50 a day coming your way till you get it right and get it back to me.
What if you send a checklist with the renewal packet, that these items all must be a part of the packet before we will accept it?
We do
Some-
have something like a checklist that
Yeah,
goes
have a
along.
checklist in there, and
so
Just-
yeah, if we can't check off everything on this list, it's coming back to you. That's a good idea. But here's, I'm sorry, here's, one challenge is, if you do it by United States Postal Service, it theoretically, it can take a week to get from this building.
You got Inspector Postal Service.
Yeah,
Is that how you do it?
hand delivered.
yeah, well, that's why I said, when
I
he
mean,
hand delivers that packet to somebody, he can call their attention to the fact there's a checklist in here, and unless that checklist is complete, we will not accept that packet. I don't care how it comes back. If they give it to him, for some reason, his responsibility is open that damn thing up, and if there's not a check mark in every one of those things that's required, give it back to him.
Yeah, I usually don't pick up the renewal packets.
No, I know, I'm just
right,
saying,
I
if
understand,
by
yeah.
chance,
Yeah.
you might go by somebody's for something else, and they say, here,
Yeah,
can you
people-
take
people
it
have
back
had-
from
yeah,
me?
Yeah, people have had, yes.
So the renewal packets are mailed.
No, hand delivered.
delivered.
Okay, the licensee has to hand deliver it.
Yep, I get signed by whoever's behind the,
No, I mean, back to us, after they've completed it,
they mail it in,
that's
they
what I'm
hand
saying.
deliver it in,
They can mail it in.
yes.
Okay, that was my question. So,
They can mail, they can put it in the Dropbox, they can make an appointment,
right.
and I'll come down and take it from them.
Like you say, if they
And-
get it in
and I like-
and it's not complete, then it really isn't done.
I like the idea of the checklist. The only thing is, these people don't read half the stuff we give them, because this year we added a page that we called Answers to Frequently Asked Questions. And I think number one was, all checks be made payable to the Carroll County Commissioners. Do you know how many times I got asked, who do I make the check out to?
Plenty.
They were just checking.
How many times she says Joe Vance?
Is that frequently at the very first page? Maybe it should be the very first
No,
page.
it's like, well, the first page is the sign off. The second
receipt.
page is the receipt, copy of the receipt, and then it's like the second or third page.
Yeah.
It's a blue page, they shouldn't miss it, it's different color. I mean, Joe's even threatened to say, no, we're not accepting notary on one page, just bold letters.
Right.
I mean,
Which, it's a good idea.
yeah,
Yeah,
You know, that's a good idea. And as you're flipping through, all of a sudden, there's one page in font this big.
Yeah, and
But
I could understand about the commissioners, because some says commissioners of Carroll County, and somebody else might say Carroll County Commissioners.
no, what they always want to know is this made out to the liquor board?
Tell them, yeah.
Yeah.
we can buy-
Occasionally, they say, is this made out to you? And I say, well, I wish, but no.
How many, would you think is this kind of issue not
oh, we
completed?
had,
Half of them, third of them?
we had like half of them a week before that were still outstanding.
So they still haven't completed.
No, we only had half of the packets due before the week that they had to turn them in. We only had half of them even turned in, let alone complete.
The more you two talk, the more I'm convinced that staff does most of the work for licensees,
Yes, I've been told by my wife, we hold their hands
which is
too
not
much.
which is not their job.
I
We
mean,
cradle them too much, I've been told.
we started a thing with the Board of Zoning Appeals. I was getting incomplete applications, and we finally agreed to send out a letter to the local attorneys that if you give me an incomplete application, it's not gonna be scheduled.
Well, did you not do that for new applications now to the attorneys?
For, the
For
liquor
us.
board?
Yeah, I thought you
No,
said.
because most of the renewal packets are not filled out by attorneys.
No.
New-
I
new
thought we sent a letter to the attorneys
Oh,
that unless those
yes,
applications for license were completed.
yes, we did,
Okay,
sorry.
so this is the same thing you're talking about.
yeah.
I know we've been lenient and so on and so forth, and common sense says, we do certain things, everybody makes mistakes, but I just think somebody waits till the last minute or something, oh, I gotta have this in, this will keep me from paying a $50 fine. I know, we've talked several times about, well, we're charging so-and-so, we only got 3 or 4 of these applications, and we're gonna charge them, so.
Yeah, I hand deliver all the applications in February. They get done the last week in February. They have all March to get them done.
And some people don't mind paying the fines. You'd think they would.
That's a write-off.
Because I think just within the past couple of years, you requested that the board change the tax thing to the 20th, because it was getting to be May 1st, and, yeah, so that was hindering your ability to do your job. So I think this is just as relevant a request as to not accept it if it's not in full. Like these two that we just had, they would not have a new license right now because they did not take care of the entire packet before it was due.
Well, I think that's well for you to be on that agenda and cover the most common.
She's going to speak when you guys speak at the last in the last 20 minutes. I'll make a PowerPoint, we're going to make a PowerPoint slide for you.
You will? That's nice.
I could put your picture up there too,
No,
before the purple hair.
before the,
Anything else? So we're clear
I'll
on
talk
that?
to HR and get your HR picture.
We're gonna review, you're gonna review this thing and come up with something. Let us look at it and see if we have any suggestions or questions. before we worry about it, so we can get it publicized for next year. Anything else, Commissioner?
What were we talking about up in the law library about sending out a notice? Everybody, just remind them of something. Does that ring a bell? Okay. Can't recall.
I remember we were talking about something, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, we were going, yeah. I don't even remember what it was either. Actually, it might have been taken care of in this discussion we just had, I don't know.
Anything? Keith,
I have enough, I'm done.
Jimmy,
Nothing, sir.
Miss Joe,
Nope.
are you okay? Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Hey, Tina?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion's been
Second.
made and seconded to adjourn. This meeting is adjourned. Our next meeting will be June 12th?